Hi, Kevin Martin here, your UT admissions guy. I'm at Kid Springs Park with my colleague Sarah, and there's a bunch of geese and ducks in the background, and they're really loud, and we've been sitting here for the last 10 minutes debating whether the geese are going to be too loud. So if the geese are too loud and the construction in the background is too noisy, be sure to tell us in my YouTube comment section. So today I want to talk to you about some general tips to help not only improve your application to UT, but also hopefully decrease the stress that often comes along with the college admissions process. So the first tip I have is start early, okay? UT Austin's deadline is December 1st, and in fact about half of all applicants apply between Thanksgiving and the December 1st deadline. So that means not only are students waiting to the last minute to submit their applications, they're also really stressed out whenever it should be a time for holidays and the family. So start early, and for all of your colleges, try and get your applications submitted a month before the official deadline. That way it gives you enough time to correct for any errors and put forth your best effort. My second tip is what I see assemble a small army, especially for your essays and your resume. This was a tactic that I used when I was applying for my Fulbright grant, which is similar to a college application. I had to submit 2 personal statements, and I worked for months on those essays, and I had 4 or 5 trusted resources help me edit and receive feedback and get those things as good as they could possibly be. Third, it's never too late to improve your resume. See, there they are. They're going crazy. It's ridiculous. Maybe I should talk to the geese about how to improve their resume. My third tip is never too late. Sometimes it'll be a senior year and they'll say, "Oh, I can't add anything to my resume," but it's never too late. You know, try and make that summer before your senior year productive in order to make your resume as robust as possible. Fourth, I covered this in a separate video, but submit an expanded resume in addition to the space provided for you on Apply Texas. Next, it's really important to establish a relationship with your high school counselor. This is especially true if you attend a large public high school where one counselor might be responsible for 300 or 400 people. But if they at least know your name, recognize your face, they might know about scholarship opportunities or be able to provide you some advice or tips to help you along in this kind of stressful process. So my next tip is choose a first choice major you legitimately want. Don't try and game the system by choosing a major that you think may be more or less competitive than the others, because UT is going to admit you based on your major. And if you end up gaining admission to UT for a program you don't want, UT is making it increasingly difficult for you to change your major, not just as summer orientation, but also as you progress through your academic career. My 7th tip is don't get bogged down in the details. I see so many students that stress out over the smallest things like punctuation in a resume, or they edit things so much that it actually, the 8th draft of their essay actually looks a lot worse than their 3rd draft. And so, try and stay away from those perfectionist tendencies, because oftentimes more work can often have sort of, your kind of marginal returns. Next, focus on factors you can control, right? So there's many things outside of your control. You can't control state law. You can't control the type of high school that you've gone to. After your junior year, you can't control your class rank anymore. So instead, focus on those things within your control. That'd be your essays, your resume, securing strong letters of recommendations, starting early, having a positive attitude about the process, and don't lament things that I don't want to apply to that major because it's so competitive. Well, you can't control the applicant pool against which you're competing, so there's no point in being negative and beating yourself up about that. These last 3 tips are sort of life advice. This is a stressful process. You don't need me to tell you that, but I see it, and I see it with hundreds of students where there's so much pressure coming from their parents, coming from their high schools, coming from their friends to get into the best high schools or to the best universities with the most scholarships and the most prestigious programs. But this isn't life and death. When I worked for UT, I would have families and kind of disappointed students calling me in March and April after they received an unfavorable admissions decision, and they were treating it like it was life and death. College admissions is not a life or death process. There's going to be a great university out there for you, and even if you don't get admitted to UT on the front end, you can always pursue the coordinated admissions program or attend another university and transfer in that way. Next, when you submit your application, submit it and forget it. Don't, sometimes it'll be December, January, and students will be fretting about some small detail they forgot to include, or they'll ask me, "Hey, how can I include another letter of recommendation?" or a parent who really wants to do all that they can for their student, and they're stressing, "Hey, when am I going to find out? Do you think I'm competitive? Do you think I'm going to get in?" And once you submit it, you can't do anything. It's in the admissions ethos after that. So just let it go and focus on having fun on your senior year. And my last tip is plans change. Be flexible. Again, this isn't a life or death process, and even if you've planned your entire life to be a Longhorn, your family bleeds burnt orange, I would encourage you to be flexible. Apply to a number of universities in the fall, so that way in the spring you can have a number of choices available for you. So that's all I have for you today. Those are some general tips that I think may help not only improve your application, but also decrease the stress in this process. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment on the comment section of this video or reach out directly to me at kevin@texasadmissions.com. Thanks, and I hope you have a great day.